with the wicket falling in the first 15 overs. Ben Hollioake's England's number 3, just 20 years of age. Batsman crossed while Knight was out, so Stewart, who's on strike. Well. It was a real chance for a run out. Stewart definitely out of his ground.
And Lambert the man again. And he would have been out, but just missing. Well, this was the fall of the first English wicket. Not too sure that this was quite necessary from Nick Knight, trying to hit the best bowler in the team. But a very good catch. Kept his eyes on it throughout. Excellent.
I think Curtly Ambrose suggesting that was a little bit close to leave for Ben Hollioake. Wallace at full stretch, and he times his run absolutely perfectly. Yes, it's quite a tough assignment to be asked to come in and smash Curtly Ambrose around. I'm not necessarily sure those tactics are required just yet. As you were saying, Mikey, just 2 frontline bowlers in this West Indies attack. A lot of lesser fry to try and score more quickly against. Ben Hollioake off the mark. Phil Simmons will be bowling medium pace as Carl Hooper and Raul Lewis to bowl spin.
No!
End of a successful over from Curtly Ambrose. He's got 1 for 9. England are 28 for 1. Well, not everybody's at the cricket ground today. We've got a change in the commentary box alongside Paul Allott, our yachting correspondent, Mark Nicholas.
Thank you, Bob. I'm afraid the spinnaker is yet to blossom. But let me tell you that going across that sea is a bit special. They've been very sharp in the field today, the West Indians, much sharper than in either of the previous games. Keith Arthurton makes a difference. He's like a jack in the box around the cover or backward cover area. Left-handed thrower, which is something England have to think about as well. And he's just sparked everybody off. He made a very good bit of fielding beginning of the second over when he saved 2 with a quick pick up and throw. And it just seems to have given everybody in his side a little bit of a kick. Hollioake's on strike to McLean. Attempt at the slower ball from McLean. Not really working. In truth, if it had been a foot or so higher, it might have had to be called a no ball.
Don't think Ben Hollioake picked it up too easily anyway. Very difficult. That the eyes of the batsman normally go down automatically as the bowler releases the ball. That's waist high anyway. Played it very laconically though.
England, having profited from a fast start in the first game in Barbados, are looking on a pretty good pitch here to do much the same again. It was more difficult in the second Barbados match. They had to play pretty carefully in the first 10 overs, and then they were able to advance a bit. But they do feel that with so many strong middle order players, they can afford for the top order to be pretty free with their strokes.
Just feel, Mark, that there may be a little bit of help here for the bowlers in this first hour or so. The pitch was going to be used for 2 days, and I just think there was just a hint of moisture in the top surface. Nothing much, but just enough. The bowlers can put the ball in the right spot. They're going to get a little bit of assistance out of it. If you're short and wide, as McLean's been, then you're going to get punished. But Ambrose, 4 overs, 1 for 9. Has done beautifully well.
Might just have missed leg stump. It's a huge appeal and a long think from the umpire, and given not out.
Stewart's technique here of trying to stay leg side of the ball just about saves him. It's hit him on the line of middle stump. It may be a bit high, you can see from that. It was a good shout, but I think the ball was going down the leg side.
Billy Doctorow from Dominica is the umpire. It's just been a slightly more frenetic approach from England. That stroke from Stewart is a good example of it. Normally Stewart is a timer of the ball, and he was trying to hit that drive too hard. Lost his shape. There was too much bottom hand just there, you see.
Bottom hand and leaning back as well. The head's gone back and the bottom hand's come in. Well, he's not timed it and got no runs for it.
It's very important, if you're the side batting first on a good pitch, to judge your attempt at a score on your own ability as a team. What England will do is they'll look back to the game 4 years ago and worry about the amount of runs the West Indies made. They will assume that this will be a very high-scoring match and think that they have to make a very high score themselves. What they must do is bat as well as they can in the face of the opposing bowlers, and that will be a good score, assuming that they play well. They go away trying to get too many and force strokes, force a position. They're unlikely to be scoring as many as they ought to.
That's where Ben Hollioake gets in a little bit of trouble. He likes to play sort of half bat stroke, guide the ball down to third man. He just looks just a fraction lazy, and he's reached for that. It's a good ball, by the way, from Ambrose. Take nothing away from the bowler. Half a bat and a little bit half-hearted.
The West Indians are very aware of not over-pitching to Ben Hollioake. He's got a lovely clean arc when he's hitting the ball mid-off and mid-on way. And so what they're trying to do is make him play that little sort of half-bat shot he plays. It's not quite a cut stroke with a horizontal bat, neither is it a straight bat drive with a vertical bat. So they're just harbouring in there on an area of Hollioake's game that he'll need to do something about if he's to go on and make big runs in the longer version of the game against the very best bowlers. It's a good run from Stewart and a good example of the straight bat stroke that Ben Hollioake could do within his armoury.
It's altogether a more positive stroke from Stewart. Right behind that and pushing it straight through at extra cover. Still working on that thigh, which we think he strained earlier on in the innings. But again, Hollioake found wanting outside off stump. It's an airy stroke, that. It's a product of one-day cricket, I'm sure. He's looking to get that away down to third man. But against a bowler of Ambrose's quality, have to be a little bit more dominant than that.
What I really like about Ben Hollioake and about the way that England have used him so far is that his game is based initially on attack, and it's very good that nobody in England management positions has tried to change that. too many young English players are discouraged from their natural game and taught a defensive and negative side of the game very early in their development. Ben Hollioake has been left alone to be himself, and I think he'll learn by his own mistakes. There's some good stuff here from Ambrose this morning. He's looked to cut above anything so far in the series, profiting from an excellent line and just a little movement off the seam.
Wondering, or left wondering here, how that's got through without disturbing the bails. Nip back, clip the top of the pad and over the top of the stumps. It's the ideal, we've said it many times through this test match series and one-day series, that's the ideal line and length. Doesn't overdo the short delivery. He's always searching, always probing, always asking questions of the batsman. 5 overs, 1 for 12 here this morning. Very good return.
Been quite a lot of thought between Lara and Simmons and Hooper, Ambrose, and now the bowler as well, as to the best way to get this offside field placed for Stewart, or indeed a line to bowl. In fact, they're having a complete rethink. I wondered why that had gone on so long. It's taken, I should think, not far short of 5 minutes. Certainly, looking at my watch, around about 4 minutes since Ambrose bowled the last ball of the over, before we've had any clue as even who's going to bowl this this over. It's quite a change of policy here, and quite a gamble as well. Raul Lewis, the leg spinner, is coming on. Remember, only 2 fielders can be outside the 30-yard ring.
See the 30-metre circle quite clearly, and only 2 men are allowed outside that area for the first 15 overs of this game. There are also 2 men who have to be in a close catching position. I'm not quite sure where they are at the moment. There's a lot of wandering around going on. 2 men at mid-wicket, one of whom is the bowler. Looks as though there's going to be a slip, which will qualify obviously as one of the close catches, and the other one I think will be the captain himself, Brian Lara, who will come into short mid-wicket. No, maybe not. A short extra cover, Carl Hooper, and a short third man, so no slip.
Expect Raul Lewis to bowl quite well outside leg stump with this field. Well, I say, and to spin the ball, that's not a bad start. It was Shane Warne stuff.
Good pace from Lewis first ball. Skidding through on Ben Hollioake.
Might have to go a bit here. Now, to throw it hit, he'd have been out by a yard. Just all a bit indecisive and frantic from England this morning.
Not sure that was the best of calls from Alex Stewart. He knew he could get there, but Ben Hollioake had come down the wicket, then got down on one knee to play a sort of sweep. Stewart in easily. Hollioake struggling.
Not a very good piece of work from Raul Lewis, I've got to say. It was a perfectly decent throw, and Lewis ought to have caught that and whipped the bails off. Might have had his eye distracted by Hollioake running at him.
Again, an example of Stewart's impatience, really. This is the throw to Lewis, which you're quite right, should have been taken, and the bails should have been whipped off.
That's one of the 2 men out on the leg side. The other one is at a straightish mid-wicket. Long way out here. It means that mid-on and mid-off are back. Mid-on and mid-off are up, and those are the 2 that are back. And it's quite clever of Lewis to bowl this length, because if he over pitches, it'll be a pretty straightforward stroke for Hollioake or Stewart to look to hit down the ground or over mid-on and back over the bowler's head. So short of a length is the right length. Very good bowling. Very good stuff from Raul Lewis. Bob Willis has been saying behind the scenes for the first couple of games that he reckons if England were struggling with Wallace and Lambert at the beginning of the innings, they would do worse than to give the spinner a bowl, Robert Croft. Just take the pace off the ball and make the batsman make the stroke.
Stewart and Hollioake in consultation there, just working out a strategy, I feel, to play against Lewis. It'll be interesting to see how they play next over. Meanwhile, Ambrose has been taken out of the attack and replaced. He's gone off the field, in fact. Mervyn Dillon is on as 12th man. And replacing Ambrose at the airport end is Nixon McLean. Atherton is set back there at point, right on the edge of that 30-metre circle. Stewart took him on with a short and wide ball. Groin or thigh.
Quite timed by Hollioake, but this outfield is very quick indeed. It's the quickest of the outfields we've seen on the tour.
It's a very uncompromising thump back past the bowler. It wasn't timed.
This is much better cricket from the West Indies today. Nothing for England to drive from the bowlers. And some really good ground fielding. They're releasing the ball quickly. And they're making it very difficult at the moment for England to judge a run. They've set some quite clever fields. Now they're putting a deep square leg back for Stewart. They know that he enjoys the pull stroke. So fine leg will be up in that circle, along with mid-wicket and mid-on the leg side.
It's good bowling from McLean. With that field, the leg side field, with the fine leg up and the deep square leg back on the edge, and the two other men in the circle, it means he's got to bowl a line just outside off stump, on about that length. If he gets it any nearer the stump, Stewart will be looking to work him away behind square on the leg side. If he bowls it shorter on that line, then he'll get pulled.
Yeah.
Found the gap. Again, not any of the sort of timing we've seen from Stewart throughout this tour. It's 40 for 1 now. There's the marvellous view out across the Caribbean from Marner's Vale here, the cricket ground in St Vincent, looking to Bequia. And then Mustique is away, the shadow far left beyond Bequia. Here's Raoul Lewis to Ben Hollioake. Chip from Hollioake off the bottom of the bat.
Mervyn Dillon, who's on the field for Curtly Ambrose, who's seeing a doctor at the moment. I have no more information. Yes, I thought that may be one of Stewart's ploys to counteract this approach from Lewis. The two men very close on the offside, one at third man and one at short extra. No real protection out at all.
No ball!
It was a no ball. And as such, with that lack of protection on the offside, Stewart may look to get leg side of the ball and hit Lewis away over the offside. That's good bowling. Good line. A bit of turn as well, and bowling to his 5 men on the leg side with the 2 men out on the boundary.
It's a well-placed stroke from Hollioake. There was a big difference in the way he set himself up to play that. Lovely solid position, and he made sure that he hit it exactly where he was aiming. Tried to hit it too hard. Stayed with the shot, tendency sometimes to pull away and to try to smack it over everybody. Oh dear, that's I'm sorry, but that's an appalling piece of umpiring. It's a one-day match, this. It's too wide.
Good control stroke from Ben Hollioake, using his feet and hitting away through mid-wicket. Packed house here at Arnes Vale. Some of this crowd were in the ground as early as 7 o'clock this morning. Streams and streams of spectators making their way around the airport and down the road to this ground, which is set almost on the beach. Still some more coming in.
It's the best of Ben Hollioake. That's why he's so highly rated.
Wasn't a half volley. It was played by Ben Hollioake. Uncomplicated straight drive.
Remember, this is a pretty fast bowler, Nixon McLean, made to look like slow medium. That's the less good side of the young talent.
That's having got England to 50 the previous ball. It's not short enough to pull, and he knows it as well. A loose stroke.
Innings 50 coming up in 75 balls from marginally under an hour's play. About 55 minutes we've had here at Arno's Vale this morning. Very different fare altogether from the two games in Barbados. West Indies have looked much tighter as a unit. And England haven't quite had their timing. Consequently, it's a sort of even-Steven start, really. You'd reckon 13 overs if you kept aside your under 55. With these fielding restriction rules, you've done pretty well. Pretty well done from Nixon McLean. What he's done to Alex Stewart, he's bowled it that bit straighter. Early on there was the odd wide ball to cut, but when you get it around middle stump to Stewart on a length, it's your one chance of tying him down.